cozy friends, and welcome back to my cozy corner. Today we are going to get cozy and unravel some thoughts about why I prefer reading on my Kindle. If you are new here, my name is Morgan and I love to unravel my chaotic, anxious mind with cozy hobbies, mostly reading and knitting. So if that's your vibe, I hope you tap subscribe and stick around for more cozy content to come. So I bought my Kindle almost a year ago now, but I wanted to do a follow-up video to my Kindle review, and that video will be linked up here because the most asked question I get is whether or not I feel like reading on ebook is comparable to reading physical books. I used to always say no, you can't really replace the feeling of holding a physical book and reading, but I no longer really agree with that. I have truly become a fully converted Kindle girlie, both by choice and circumstance. If you haven't been following along on our journey, we just moved abroad from the US to Australia, so all of my books are back home in a storage unit and not physically with me, besides everything I have right here. If you want to learn more about why we moved abroad, you can watch this video up here, but I had to be very mindful about what I was able to put in my suitcase. Books were going to be way too heavy to bring, but thankfully I have my Kindle and this holds thousands of books. I don't have thousands of books on it at any given time, but it literally can hold up to 16 gigabytes of books, which is like a ton. Honestly, more than I'd ever need. That leads me right into what Kindle do I have. I have the Kindle Paperwhite 11th generation, and I'll talk more about the features and benefits throughout this video of this Kindle that I have, but there are a few different types of Kindles and there's other types of e-readers that you can peruse and choose what works best for you. The link to the Kindle I have is down below in the description if you do want to check it out. But before we jump into why I prefer reading on Kindle now, I want you to tell me down in the comments what you're currently reading. I am currently reading The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. I'm really loving being back in the world of A Darker Shade of Magic. It is one of my favorite series ever, and it's actually available on Kindle Unlimited if you subscribe to that and are looking for some good fantasy must-read book series. But without any further ado, let's talk about why I prefer reading on Kindle. Honestly, e-readers make reading so much more accessible to many people with many different lifestyles and physical abilities and financial abilities, which leads me to my first point, which is you can read for free on a Kindle. You don't have to buy books to read on a Kindle. I see so many Kindle girlies talking about owning the audiobook, the ebook, and the physical book of just like any given title so that they can read in any format. And I think that can make it seem really inaccessible. Like you're not gonna buy 3 copies of every book you wanna read so that you can like read it when you lay down or read it while you're doing the dishes like on audio. I feel like that discussion really makes e-reading seem so inaccessible to people. They're like, I can't afford to buy 3 different copies of a book. So then let's talk about how to read books for free. I really love to support libraries. If you don't already have a library card from your local library or some online libraries, I really urge you to go sign up for one right now. You can usually do it on the websites without even going in person. If you want a physical card, you'll have to go to your library, but when you sign up online, they will give you your login information and your library barcode, and with that card you can sign up for an online platform such as Libby, Hoopla, or Overdrive, whichever ones your library partners with, and you can check out ebooks and audiobooks right from your phone, send them to your Kindle, or read them on your phone without ever even having to go to the library. But you should check out your library. There are so many resources for things that aren't just books or movies, or they will help you with writing out resumes, whatever it is you need. There are so many resources, so please support your libraries. But real quick, what is Libby or Overdrive, Hoopla? I personally use Libby because that's the one that my main local library back in Virginia used. They partner with the libraries to make ebooks available in an app form on your device. On Hoopla, you can read it on your phone, but on Libby or Overdrive, it sends it to the Kindle app. But now that I've been reading ebooks from my library, my bookworm tendencies have cost me so much less. Like, I don't feel the need to purchase every book I'm going to read or every book that comes out that sounds really good. I can either save it as want to read on Goodreads until I get around to it, or if it's a popular title, I can go ahead and put it on hold from Libby and whenever it comes in, I will be able to read it for free. And if I decide I really like the book, maybe then I'll purchase it so that I can reread it and own a copy of it, maybe annotate it if I so choose. But I don't have to purchase every book. You do have to have some patience with this method of reading and e-reading, because if you're a mood reader, the book you want may not be available at the time, but there are also thousands of titles available to just borrow immediately. They just may not be the most popular trending titles at the time. If you're wanting to read books recommended on Book Talk, you're probably going to have to wait. You may have them on hold for a few weeks, so just be aware of that. And if that's the case, you could either purchase the ebook. I actually have like 4 library cards now because I found on Reddit a resource that was like, here's libraries you can sign up for without even living in the area and put them onto your Libby. So now I have multiple libraries. I can check their database of, is this title isn't available at one, it may be available at another. So if I can find it, I'll link that in the description below. A pro tip I love to use that I don't think many people are aware of is if you're using Libby and you have a bunch of holds come in at once, you can use the deliver later feature, and that will basically allow it to go to the next person who has a hold on it, but it doesn't remove you from the wait list, and it will send it to you next after that person is done reading. And another tip, if your book is returning before you're able to finish it, just put your Kindle in airplane mode and it will actually allow you to still have access to it even after it auto returns to your library. And I use this one when I'm really trying to cram to finish a book. There are also ways to get ebooks without buying them. I really do believe in supporting authors, so I'm not gonna share it. I only do it if I have the physical book already and I just want to be able to also read it on ebook and I've already supported the author. So if this is a situation you're in, there are resources out there for how to get PDFs of books sent to your Kindle, but I implore you to use this very wisely and respectfully of the authors who put in so much work and deserve support of their art. So now I want to talk about accessibility, because Kindles can really change the game for people with different physical or mental abilities. Personally, I have really bad eyes, and being able to change my font size or brightness can really protect my eye strain and prevent me from getting headaches while reading. And I can also really struggle to stay focused when I'm reading a paperback book. The font may be tiny, or it's just like a lot of text to take in on a whole page. I can change the settings on my Kindle to have a larger font with bigger spacing in between the text and maybe adjust my margins, and it can just help me really focus on the words that I'm trying to digest at a time. I'm gonna show you right now my Kindle settings, but there are so many different fonts and you can change the sizing to whatever fits your needs the best. And that's my favorite thing about it. So there is blue light blocking in the Kindle because it's like a backlit display. I love that there is also warmness settings so that I don't have to look at a bluey tone. Or a stark white tone. I can make it a little more yellow. That's better for my eyes. I feel like it's just not so aggressive. Now I want to talk about how it fits in my lifestyle so much better. As I said before, we have just moved abroad, so this is my entire library right here, and being able to take books with me when moving across the globe was so important to me. I have a literal entire library in my purse without having it way down, and I can choose whatever book I'm in the mood to read at the time, rather than having to choose what books I'm putting in storage and what books I wanted to bring. I would have never been able to choose a TBR for the next year of being here. I take my Kindle with me wherever I go. I never know if I'm gonna have 10 minutes in the car. I never know if I'm gonna have 10 or 20 minutes to read in the car waiting for my son to wake up in his car seat so that we can go in somewhere, or if you're going to be waiting on a doctor's appointment in the waiting room. So just having your book right there always is so helpful, getting to read more often and getting through your books a lot faster. And along with being able to just throw it in my purse and not think about it, the battery life on these things is insane. It says online that it gets 10 weeks of battery life, and I'm pretty sure that's pretty accurate. I haven't charged my Kindle since well before we left the States, which was a month ago, and I only charged it this week. So it's definitely been at least a month. Having a Kindle has come really in clutch since becoming a mom. After I became a mom, my reading dropped off significantly significantly. Honestly, everything did, because I just didn't have time for anything but taking care of a baby. But the only time I did have for myself was after bedtime, and maybe I was like holding him, rocking him in the dark. I couldn't really do anything besides like play on my phone. I found myself sending books from Libby to my phone's Kindle app and reading on there if I wasn't just like putting headphones in and watching YouTube videos. So that's what made me finally buy a Kindle, so that I could read at night, get more reading time in, more time for myself, doing something that I really enjoy. And that was really, really good for my mental health, honestly. And one of the best things about reading on a Kindle versus like just on your Kindle app on your phone is the lack of distractions. If I was reading on the Kindle app on my phone, if I got a notification, I may end up clicking over to Instagram and then not ending up back on the Kindle app, actually getting in time reading instead of swiping. And that helped me read a lot more and faster. As I said, my books are always with me and it's less distracting. Another thing that's super motivating is seeing the percent read and like how many pages left in this chapter, how many minutes left in the chapter, how many minutes left in your book. Like, that is such a challenge and a motivator to keep reading and finish the chapter, then finish the book. I think reading on Kindle is just so much more digestible. I have been like 500 pages into a 700-page book and been like, wow, this book is just flying by. How many pages is left? Like, this doesn't feel like a 700-page book. Another really fun, motivating thing is the Kindle streak on your app. If you check your Kindle app, it actually shows how many days and how many weeks you've read in a row. So that can keep you opening the app every day and get you reading more frequently. Another thing I love is just getting to decorate my Kindle in cute little stickers and make it so aesthetic and fun. The screen when it's asleep is like, it has an ad on it, which a lot of people don't like. You can either remove it for a $20 fee or you can contact them and ask them to remove it. I've just been meaning to do that and I haven't yet. Your Kindle will store everything you highlight across your books so that you can revisit it, just like if you were to annotate books. And I didn't bring mine with me to Australia, but if you really want to get cozy with your Kindle, you can get the gooseneck phone holder or Kindle holder, and I've even seen girlies get the tap to turn the page. I never got that. I just did the gooseneck and would reach up and tap. But that's a really good way to get cozy in bed with your book, and you don't even have to hold a heavy book above your head just like falling on you as you fall asleep. One thing I want to say before closing out this video is that whatever way you like to read, whatever brings you joy, that is what you should do. Reading on the Kindle probably isn't for everyone, but it is perfect for me in my lifestyle right now with my physical and mental needs, and I think that whatever gets people reading more is a beautiful thing. So that is why I wanted to share why I prefer reading on Kindle, and I would love to hear down below if you agree with any of my points or if you feel like you prefer physical for other reasons. I'd love to hear that down below. Don't forget to tell me about your current read. If you enjoy the cozy vibes of this video, I would love it if you would stick around in my cozy corner and tap subscribe so you don't miss future cozy videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a very cozy week.